our Farm Basics time today, we're going to cover a couple of words that we often use here on the show that we just want to make sure you know exactly what we're talking about when we say residual, systemic, and even contact activity.
All right, let's start with that residual one because it has the potential to sound like a bad thing, and for many farmers, it's a really good thing. So when farmers put out weed control, whether it's in a field or even in a garden, we're using things like preen in the garden, or trifluralin would be the same exact active ingredient out in soybean fields. And we use those products because they have residual. What residual means is soil activity. So they're in the soil, they're going to persist in the soil for a certain window of time, and during that time, as there's moisture in the soil, weeds that are starting to germinate can pull some more of that herbicide in, and you can control future flushes, hopefully for a month or maybe two, until you get crop canopy. That's what we're trying to get. So if we get enough residual to get us to crop canopy, we don't have to come back and use more herbicides or pull weeds or cultivate or do some kind of weed control method.
All right, then we get to contact versus systemic activity when it comes to a herbicide. What contact means is it's got to land on a leaf, or maybe it's a plant in general, but it's going to control it from there. It's got to touch it though. With residual, that's a little bit different because now it, like Darren said, it's going to last in the soil for a while. It doesn't have to touch it immediately, so it's going to be in the soil, and eventually something might come in contact with it. When we start talking contact, we're saying contact today, the day of spraying. With systemic activity in the plant, what that means is it's something that can move all through the plant. So, for example, we use some seed treatment insecticides sometimes, like Gaucho, Poncho, or Cruiser. Those are systemic in the plant. They'll be absorbed by the seedling, roots, and then they will move throughout that plant to control insects for a period of time.
Well, this is very important when you think about perennial weeds too, Brian, with systemic activity with products like Roundup, for example, that can move throughout that plant and kill the roots and all. If you've got thistles, for example, in your grass and you want to control them, well, Roundup will kill the grass too, but if it gets down in the root of that thistle, it's going to kill all the new shoots. So that may not be the best choice in that situation since it kills other things, but maybe a product like Stinger could be a good solution there, where you don't kill the grass, but you move systemically through that thistle to kill the weed, roots and all.
Well, very often here on the show, we just start throwing out commonly used terms in agronomy because Darren and I have been agronomists for around 30 years. And sometimes we kind of forget, oh yeah, maybe we didn't explain ourselves very well. So today we wanted to kind of step back and talk about residual, systemic, and contact activity when it comes to herbicides and insecticides, and for that matter, fungicides and some other products as well.
And all those terms may be useful if you're trying to control our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?